Hey peeps, I'm here. I'm wishing you guys were here, but obviously we couldn't meet together this week. So this is how we're doing it. It's coming up to Easter, and I would have loved to give in this message to you in person, but this is how we're going to do it. So hopefully you're watching this and you're going to meet up with your small group because I've got a couple questions that I want you guys to go through after I'm done with this, and you guys can discuss and talk it through. It is coming up to Easter, and you know what? At Easter time, we're always talking about Jesus' death and resurrection. Before I start into that, I thought I'd go through a near miss that I had with death. So here it goes. We have to transport ourselves all the way back to 1994. I know that's before most of you were born, but maybe I was the only one born at that point. I don't even think any of the leaders except for Gord would have been born at that point. I was 19 years old, so do the math if you want to figure out how old I am. I was out with my friends for a Sunday afternoon, and we're out and about on the town, and got a hankering for some McDonald's food, was getting really hungry. So we went to McDonald's, and I scarfed down 2 McRibs. I don't know if any of you have witnessed a McRib before, but they're really not that good. But I was hungry, so it worked. So later that evening, I came right here to this church, Johnson Heights Church. There was a concert happening that evening. And after the concert, I left with a couple of my friends. We were just about to pull out onto 96th Avenue. I was in the back seat, and a really small car, so I didn't have a lot of room to move. I realized that I thought we had left a Blockbuster Video back at the church. Blockbuster Video, anyone? Too old again? I know. Anyway, back in the day, you couldn't stream stuff. You can get stuff from Netflix. You had to go to a store and buy a VHS tape or rent a VHS tape and bring it back home to watch something. So that's the thing with Blockbuster Video, if you didn't know. So I'm looking around on the ground of the back seat trying to find this. We had just pulled into the island on 96. There didn't used to be a median. There was actually a painted island. And hey, I can't find this video. We need to go back. And we had just pulled out. So she pulled into the island in the middle, and I'm looking down on the ground, and then bang, lights out. You know, I woke up, and I believe I was in the ambulance already, and we were just about to head to the hospital. It was a little groggy then, so I'm not sure, but I think my friends knew that I had become awake again, that I wasn't out like a light. But as we were starting to drive away, the ambulance attendant, he had my wallet, and he pulled out my wallet, and he asked me what my name was. And I wasn't too concerned about what my name was at that point. What I was concerned about was, this was 1994, Canucks run to the Stanley Cup. It was coming up to the 3rd round, and I had tickets for the 3rd round in my wallet. So I said, I don't care what my name is, just do not steal my tickets. I want my Canucks tickets. And he threw my wallet back at me and said, you're fine, you're okay, you're gonna make it. So I'm sure a lot of you are like this, but I'm not a very good passenger when it comes to driving, especially if I'm not looking out the front window. I tend to get sick really easily. So as we are flying to the hospital, I start feeling really sick. And I'm on a backboard. I'm not allowed to move. As soon as we get out of the ambulance, I tell the guy, dude, you gotta do something because I'm about to hurl. And so what he did was he, on the backboard and on the stretcher, he sort of leaned it over so I could puke. And after I puked, he was like, McDonald's food, eh? That was the grossest thing ever. I could not eat McDonald's food for a long time after that because he identified McDonald's food from my Ralph. That is not a good thing. So I could not eat McDonald's for a long time after that. And so I'm getting stitched up after this. I had a huge gash in my head. Actually, what happened was we were hit from behind, and I was looking on the ground for that video, remember? So my head snapped back, and I hit the molding of the car. I didn't actually hit a window or something jagged. It was pure force that knocked me out and put this big split in my head. You can still see it to this day. It goes right down the center of my forehead. So as I was being stitched up, the doctor said, you're pretty lucky. A couple inches this way or a couple inches that way, and you might not be around to see tomorrow. And it made a difference in my life to realize how easy it is to not be around anymore, to die. Sometimes we think we're invincible when really we are far from that. And so as I talk about that near-death experience, I'm taken back to Easter. And what do we always talk about at Easter? Jesus dying on a cross and rising from the dead. Dying on Friday, rising from the dead on Sunday. I'm not going to go through all the details today of how that happened. What I want to answer one question, and that question is why? Why did this happen? It wasn't an accident like my car accident was. It was all in God's plan. But again, why? I'm going to try and help you go through the why of why I did this. So the first thing is God designed this world. He designed everything. He designed you. He designed me. And He didn't want us to be robots, so He gave us the ability to choose. We chose quickly to do things that weren't God's best. God's best is perfect because He is perfect. So if I say we do something that's not God's best, we can also call that sin. That's what we call sin. Sin is every time you lie or cheat or steal, that's sin. I sin, in fact, anytime you even consider doing one of those things. Consider lying, consider cheating, consider stealing, you're sinning. And there's so many other sins. There's so many other things that aren't God's best. That's a problem because we've got a God that's perfect, and then we've got us, not perfect. And I just want to read from Romans 3:23, where it says just that. It says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." So I want to make this a little more real for you today. So I brought some nice drinking water. You get a little parched when you're talking for this long, especially when you don't like talking this long, which I'm doing right now. So perfectly good water. It was from Costco, I think. Whatever. But perfectly good water to drink. Now, I also have in this my favorite yogurt. Actually, it's not. Before I came to the church today to record this, I took some water out of the toilet bowl. Just going to open it here. Of my toilet. So we're not talking in the back in the tank. We're talking straight from where the business goes. So now I figured this can be a little messy. Sorry for me who's going to clean this up later. I'm going to pour some, just a little bit, in this good water. Now, I don't know if you could pay me enough to drink this water now. It's gross. It's disgusting. It's my own poo in there. So what do? Do I try to pour it back in here? I poured double the amount back out. I'm still not drinking this water. It's disgusting. The whole thing is not good. It's definitely not perfect. So that's the problem. When sin comes in our life, it makes our whole life not perfect, and God is perfect. So those two cannot meet. You can't remove the sin by just trying to, take it out yourself. There's no way to do that. So that's why Jesus died. Jesus was the solution to that problem. He was perfect. And when he died, he gave us the opportunity to remove all that disgustingness from the water. He can purify us. Something that we cannot do on our own. I cannot purify this water. But if I were to buy a purifier or something like that, I could make that water good again. I think I would. No, I probably wouldn't still drink it. But God can make that water perfect again. He can make your life perfect again because of who he is. So, what do we have to do to take advantage of what Jesus did? Do we have to go to church every week? Do we have to try to be perfect? No. We just have to accept the gift that he gave us. God loved us so much that he gave us Jesus as a gift. We just need to accept his gift and choose to follow him. Exactly what it says in Romans 10, 9 and 10. I'm just going to read that for you here. A couple pages over. That if you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. For it is with your heart that you believe and are justified, and it is with your mouth that you confess and are saved. God loves us so much that he sent his son Jesus to die for us. God loves you so much that Jesus did this for you. God loves Sydney. God loves Justin so much that he died for you. I wish this was like a form letter that I could put everyone's name in there. But that's what he did. I know sometimes it's easy to put things off till tomorrow or next week or next year, but no one is promised tomorrow. I was almost promised 19 years with that car accident. Luckily, I'm still alive today. We don't always have the time that we think we have. So my question to you today is, do you have some questions or doubts about why Jesus did what he did? Great. We welcome talking through those questions or doubts. So just like I said before, I've got 3 questions for you that I want you to talk about in your small groups. The first question is, have you ever had a near-death experience? And tell us about it. Tell your small group about it. We want to hear it. Some good stories. I hope mine was pretty good. Second question, what does Jesus' death mean to you personally? And the third question, do you have any doubts or questions about Jesus' death and resurrection and the why? And what are they? Talk about them. We'd be happy to listen to them, to try and answer for them for you. Maybe your small group leader won't know the answers right away, but we'll find them out for you. We'll dig deeper to make sure we get you some answers. So that's all I got for you today. Hope to see you in a couple weeks. Hopefully we can have a live event again. So until then, see you. Bye.